very exciting afternoon of listening to animals that you may hear at night here in Northern California. I made a collection online of different birds and animals and everything but fish that you could hear up here. And it's really quiet now, so we might even be able to call in an owl like we did up at Covelo. And a lot of these, they're, if I tell you this is a bird and you're going to hear it and it just doesn't register that it's a bird, but this is the sounds that they make. And most of my bird ones are off the, was it the Audubon Society's webpage? Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to start off with the owls because they're the most common. And this is a barred owl. You hear that trill and deep crescendo at the end? That. So
yeah,
that's pretty primate sounding, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's kind of how you can tell the barred owls. They have that trill, and it'll do a decrescendo at the end, where it's just it goes down in timbre and timbre. There's a lot of owls that are up here. Probably maybe 8, 9 different species of owls up here.
There's quite a few.
I don't have a pygmy owl in here. Here they did have a saw-whet owl up there. I went up and looked earlier at their animal exhibit. They have a saw-whet owl, and they're about this big. This big. They sound like this.
A little smaller.
Is that loud enough? I can't tell back here.
Yeah.
I'll play that one again. And they call it a saw-whet owl because it sounds like the sound that they'd make when they'd sharpen their big saws. Here's 3 different great horned owl recordings. They're big. Could be that big. That's the movie owl. Anytime they show an owl of any kind, they're going to play that, even if that owl's not making that sound. So. That's also a great horned owl. He's in a quieter, more pensive mood.
That's an owl?
That's supposedly a great horned owl. The first part of it sounded a lot like a fox, and I'll play a fox later. I'm going through the owls now. Here's a barn owl. Those ones with the big white face. Not to be confused with the western screech owl, this is a recording of a western screech owl. Which sounds a lot like the barred owl. I'm going to play that one again. The trill at the end. And of course the spotted owl sounds like this.
That's an agitated spotted owl. It's not typical.
And that's the owls.
Let's hear it for the owls.
Yeah, for the owls. Any of those you wanted to hear again? You kind of recognize those? You hear them now?
Yeah, I know.
Used to on TV just see the basic.
Yeah.
So you might have been out there and heard those one.
It was like the
I
first year
thought
we
a
were
big
up
chimpanzee was coming or
Lost Mill
something.
Creek and we started hearing whooping.
Oh, you know what?
We figured out it was
Okay.
a barred owl. After we
What,
plugged
whooping?
Yeah.
I do have more owl on
Because
here.
it was a
There's another screech owl.
That's the ping pong ball drop.
Mhm. That's what we called in up at Howard Lake. We were playing that, and that's what. Yeah.
That was cool. He's doing all the sounds in the mouse.
Almost like he's trying to call him
That's
back.
awesome.
That was
Yeah.
cool.
And here's I'm gonna go into some other birds. Here's quail, and you may or may not hear these at night. Like a series of three. Raven. That's pretty easy to recognize. Everybody's heard that before. I think that's it for the birds. So, well, especially up here, what you're going to hear a lot are elk. And that from a distance, if you hear that kind of whistly, screamy thing, could be confused for something else. Definitely get your blood racing. Heart racing, blood pumping. Different deer sounds. And, you know, bucks can make some really weird sounds, too, so... That's a buck. Which, you know, again, can sound pretty ominous at night in the fog.
And then you look and it's just this little deer.
I just got the one little short recording. That's a buck grunt.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
You're scared.
Hey, that's good. It's a buck.
Yeah. I know, I'll have to remember that one.
You're gonna hear these all over wherever you go. They just seem to be everywhere, except maybe out in the middle of the Mojave.
What's an ungulate?
Hooved animal. Antelope, cows, deer, elk. They're all different cow sounds, and some of them are really weird.